This is the People's News Network. Here's your host, Stacey Turner.
Hello, I'm Stacey Turner. Here are some of the stories we've been working on. Forums are on edge tonight as a man in a fedora posts a message threatening an imminent raid. His message read, quote, "Greetings, Chuds. I don't mean to be the bearer of bad news, but you're being raided. You hear? Raided, hog out or log out. Lol. Gritty is gonna for all of you after the revolution. Watch out, Nazi insoles." Unquote. Socialist pig Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez fined for failing to provide proper workers' compensation for staff. So-called Democratic representative and socialist pig Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez's 2018 campaign has been fined for failing to provide proper workers' compensation coverage for its staff. The employer did not have the required workers' compensation coverage from March 31, 2018 to April 30, 2018. Melissa Stewart, the spokeswoman for New York's Workers' Compensation Board, told the New York Daily News it was issued a final penalty of $1,500. Which was paid. This coverage is vital to ensuring workers are protected for on-the-job injuries. Stewart continued, the self-proclaimed democratic socialist has been portraying herself as a champion for workers' rights. During her campaign, she advocated for a $15 an hour minimum wage and a federal jobs guarantee because, according to her website, anyone who is willing and able to work shouldn't struggle to find employment. Police say a New Jersey man fought off an armed robber by using the suspect's own gun, ultimately killing him. Police responded to a report of shots fired at a Bound Brook home around 7:30 p.m. Wednesday. Intruder allegedly arrived at the residence brandishing a semi-automatic handgun, and a fight erupted with the man who lives at the home. The two allegedly scuffled near the patio area of the home, which connects the living space with the carriage house. Police say that during the altercation the resident was able to get control of the gun and fired, hitting 29-year-old Terrence Collinges of Old Bridge, who died later at an area trauma center. Neighbors were stunned to find out of the violence on such an unlikely street. "It's kind of crazy," neighbor Joan Capello said, adding that a lot of state troopers live around here. You are watching the People's News Network. We'll be right back after these messages. Two women have been charged with kidnapping and sexual assault following an attack on a transgender woman in a bar toilet, according to reports. Police in North Carolina said the alleged victim told them she was inside the toilet of a bar in Raleigh, the state capital, when the pair began to verbally abuse her. They then exposed themselves and touched her. She claimed the attack was said to have continued outside the toilet. The Associated Press reported, despite the woman's pleas and a bartender's orders for it to end. Spain's far-right-wing spells doom for socialists in Andalusia, the region with the most migrants. Madrid. Spain's governing Socialist Party suffered an unexpected election setback on Sunday, as right-wing parties won enough votes to oust the socialists from power in the nation's largest region for the first time since the country returned to democracy. The result in Andalusia was a blow to Pedro Sánchez, Spain's socialist prime minister, who has been in office since June and could now be forced into a snap general election next year. The socialists won just 33 of the 109 seats in the regional parliament, according to provisional results released late Sunday. With 94% of the votes counted, it was the party's worst result in Andalusia since 1982. When the region held its first election after Spain adopted a new constitution. The biggest change for Spain's political landscape on Sunday was the emergence of Vox, a far-right party that had never previously made any significant election in Rogs. The party won 12 seats, according to the provisional results. We'll be right back, but first here are some pictures of Canada's Prime Minister in wheelchairs. Kenya will teach Mandarin in classrooms in a bid to improve job competitiveness and facilitate better trade and connection with China. The country's Curriculum Development Institute has said the design and scope of the Mandarin syllabus have been completed and will be rolled out in 2020. Primary school pupils from grade 4, aged 10 and onwards, will be able to take the course. The head of the agency, Julius Juan, told Xinhua News Agency. Juan said the language is being introduced given Mandarin's growing global rise and the deepening political and economic connections between Kenya and China. The place of China in the world economy has also grown to be so strong that Kenya stands to benefit if its citizens can understand Mandarin, Juan noted. Kenya follows in the footsteps of South Africa, which began teaching the language in schools in 2014, and Uganda, which is planning mandatory Mandarin lessons for high school students. Kenya is currently in the midst of rolling out a new educational curriculum to improve educational quality and focus on skills that would make graduates more employable in the labor market. Just last year, education officials rolled out the roadmap for the first pilot of the new curricula for students in preschool and standards 1 and 2. You are watching the People's News Network. We'll be right back after these messages. Fewer than 1 in 5 Italians, 19%, would like the government to reopen the country's closed ports to migrants, according to a poll released Friday. Only 12% of those surveyed said that it is the responsibility of individual states in whose territorial waters the migrant ships have arrived to resolve the situation. The survey commissioned by the Italian daily Corriere della Sera revealed that 60% said that, in these cases, it is the responsibility of the European Union, EU, while 13% said the duty lies with the NGO vessels that took the migrants aboard in the first place. The issue of migration has returned to the political foreground in Italy with the ongoing saga of the two vessels, operated by the NGOs Sea Watch and CI. The story has highlighted tensions in relations with the EU and other international organizations, such as the United Nations Refugee Agency, UNHCR. A significant majority of Italians, 64%, are favorable to the Minister of the Interior Matteo Salvini's decision to close the country's ports. Of these, 80% want the government to stand by its absolute ban on new migrant landings, even in the case of the vessels Sea Watch and CI, while the other 20% think an exception should be made for these 49 migrants. The closure of ports is the prevailing option among all social segments regardless of gender, age, educational qualifications, employment status, or religious faith, including Catholics who regularly attend Mass, the poll found. In its analysis of the survey, Corriere della Sera said Italians continue to fear the uncontrolled mass immigration experienced in recent years and also resent what seemed to many a betrayal by the EU in failing to come to their assistance. This concludes our broadcast. Have a nice day.